tankers, this is Pilot Grenadier. We're on our way to finish a suggestion review for Italian tank destroyers branch. With the last stop on the classical assault gun conversation, the main idea was around searching for a compromise between compartment size and resulting firepower options. Due to severe dimension limits for mass production Italian tanks chassis and increasing allied armored threat, the concept of a fighting compartment relocation outside of a main hull has become extremely popular. The Royal Army of Italy had a big experience of using an improvised AT units, such as variable tracks and battle cars armed with howitzer and guns, which provides them an important AT protection. But an improvised option has its own cons: big preparation time, limited mobility due to wheeled chassis, and extremely low survivability. That's why Italian Army Command, in view of a crushing defeats experience in African and Eastern fronts, ordered to develop unknown samples of high-power AT SPG vehicles, mostly known as Waffenträgers. As you may already guess, this part is dedicated to most powerful regular Italian Army AT units the country could ever possibly provide at that period, while possessing a moderate mobility and extra poor protection. Those long-range killers can provide relatively small dimensions, comfort of aiming, and of course a redirect mechanics from the very tier 7 instead of 8, allowing to do important damage management for own team. Started at the end of 1942 by Ansaldo Company, this design possesses same medium type chassis as the regular M41 do, relying on the experience of AA guns such as Flak 37 applying to T34 and QV1 on the Eastern Front. Italian engineers have decided to use an old 90mm AA cannon as an AT armament. A mobile gun carriage scheme allowed constructors to separate fighting and control compartment by an MTU unit, while the ammo rack was preserved under the gun mounting platform. The traversable shielded cabin provided a comfortable aiming sector of 40 degrees in each direction, with optimal gun depression, lower depression in -8 degrees. Development and field tests had ended in 1943, and a small series of M41M have been produced for a homeland garrison disposal. However, they couldn't stop a massive Allied assault on Sicily, which led to island occupation and capitulation of Royal Italy, with a further country split into two opposing camps. However, remaining samples on the northern side of Italy could be easily modified with a gun platform swap on the more powerful artillery systems. I think the most preferred ones are the 102mm cannons with redirect system and long barrel 90mm, which we already have on P44 or Pesante 44. Started in 1942 as a long-range SPG unit, this project has already been using M42T expanded chassis, just like Bazzotto and P2640 projects do. The main idea consists of towed artillery squadron units replacement, with as much more mobile and independent option, with the most destructive gun of Royal Army. Unfortunately, the work over the project development and prototype assembling was delayed almost till the capitulation of Italy in 1943, and only one sample has been finished until the country collides into two sides. The prototype had been retrieved by the Axis powers and was transferred to the northern Italy for testing and passing into military service. No wonder that this SPG disposes an impressive AT potential, which could be fulfilled once German administration had been interested in it. However, there were some technical assets that could make a full AT version possible. Most obvious solution is to take the M41M experience and scale it. Remnants of the Italy Navy possess various traversable gun platforms with optional calibers that can be applied onto the M42T chassis. You may say that almost 150mm with a redirect system will be too much for a A tier, But that is nothing but a compensation for bad mobility protection and, in this case, a poor aiming comfort. There is very few info about that project, but it is known to be a fire support artillery system, which takes tasks both for AT defense and assault gun role. The project of this SPG was started at 1942 parallel to a 14940 SPG, the previous one. At least they both were presented to a technical commission on the mock-up development stage. Size estimating and technological relate to 14940, allow to conclude they are using the same M42T expanded chassis, which allow them to carry such heavy weaponry. It's logical to suggest the main armament as a naval or a railroad artillery weapon with a length of 44 calibers. Traversable gun platform on the mock-up presents a 360 degrees horizontal aiming sector, which together with class weaponry and chassis put this vehicle on the same 9-tier vacancy as the Waffenträger Panzer IV. However, there had not been any shield for a gun presented, which may hint about this project was far from being constructional complete. The lack of material about this vehicle is mostly a result of project cancellation, without any certain reason for it. The gem in the crown of Italian tank destroyers takes us a long time after the World War II, the time episode of developing an all regular armored units for a Cold War Italian army. This time gap offenses the wargaming ideology of inherit, but otherwise there will be a much more fake vehicle than possible. So this is some kind of balancing between the common sense and in-game rules. Before the B1 Centauro project development was finished, countless tests and variable versions were provided. There are significant hints that engineers could use a tracked chassis for an original wheeled tank destroyer. Same mobile and light chassis performance could be provided with the German Marder IFV hull or its Italian version VCC-80, the Dardo prototype, which was developed under its influence. Italian army has no Marders in service at all. Nevertheless, the VCC-80 prototype entered service a bit earlier than B1 Centauro, so it was logical to combine those projects as an infantry AT support tracked vehicle if there had been such need, but at that time a wheeled chassis was preferred as a cheaper alternative. As example, Otto Melara company were lately participating into a modern modernization program for Indonesian army by supplying HITVAC 2 Centauro turrets for that goal. In conclusion, I would like to notice that two parts of the branch may not be alike as the game tradition wants them to be, but those are real samples that deserve to live once more. Moreover, they're exploiting the same chassis line, which grants them small size all over the branch except the last one, which is comparable with regular MT-10. I think idea of a ready rack, mechanics and high penetration hits combining may give us this branch and unique gameplay all over the game. So this is the end of Italian Tank Destroyer suggestion branch review. Hope you will like it, and please do some feedbacks so we can continue our work. This was Spider Grenadier, thank you once more.